Hi, thanks for coming to speak with us.
Please introduce yourself.
Hi there, I'm Autumn Labbé-Renault, and I'm the executive director of a nonprofit organization here in Davis called Davis Media Access.
What do you do at your job and what do you like about working there?
I do a lot of different things at my job. So I run the organization. So that means I raise money for it and I manage staff and I decide what the projects are that we're going to do. I decide that in cooperation with a whole lot of other people. Um, and I also make media. I've been a radio host, I've hosted local television, I've done podcasts, and I have trained high school students and college students in the studio, teaching them how to run TV studio equipment.
What made you decide to start working in media?
Well, it was completely unintentional. When I graduated high school in Southern California, I came to attend school at UC Davis, where I majored in political science, and I intended to be a lawyer. And then one day I saw a job listing for a copy reader position at the California Aggie, which is the student newspaper there, and I ended up working there for the next 4 years. And after that, I worked in newspapers for about another 5 years as a reporter and an editor and ultimately a publisher. So I kind of fell into it and I've been doing it ever since.
Do you have any advice for students who want to create videos, podcasts, or other media?
Yes. So that depends on what you mean by create. Okay, so creating media means a lot of different things. If you want to make a podcast, then I'm going to tell you to get really familiar with what good audio sounds like. Because if your show doesn't sound good and have good audio quality, no one's going to want to listen to it. If you're shooting video, you need to be aware of things like light. And here's an example. Mrs. Brunel earlier asked if we wanted to set up here or over there, and the light was too bright there, and when it's too bright, it can kind of make your picture look different. You also want to be aware of what's in back of you, and we found that out earlier. We had to rearrange our chairs so we could get a nice display of books in back of us. And then something you're doing really well is you are not asking closed-ended questions. And what I mean by that is when you're interviewing someone, you want to ask them questions that let them tell a story. They can't just answer yes or no because that's boring. Who wants to listen to that, right? So you're doing a great job with that. So there are lots of different things to consider depending on what kind of media you want to make. But the number one rule is you're not going to be very good at it, chances are, when you first start. But if you keep at it, you can learn amazing skills and you can tell really great stories.
What did you like about elementary school?
Ooh, wow, that's going back a ways. Um, I loved Mrs. Brownell, my fourth grade teacher. She was like a second mom to me. And she entered me in spelling bees, which I kept winning. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I loved the library and the time for reading. I'm still a really great reader these days.
Are there things you especially appreciate about the Davis community?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of things. So I've worked at Davis Media Access for a little over 20 years. And um, my job is really about talking to people in the community and finding out what they do. So that might be somebody running an organization and they're having an event. That might be a musician coming through to play a concert somewhere and they come on the radio and they talk. I also appreciate that this is a community of involved people who care about what happens here. And you see that when you go to the farmers market, there are people there who care about our environment and healthy food, right? You see that if you go to a city council meeting and there are lots of people there who are eager to talk about the things that are important to them. Um, and I really like the schools in this town. I have 3 kids. They're young adults and they all grew up going to Davis schools. And it was a really cool place to be a family and to raise kids.
Is there anything you wished we had asked you about?
Oh my gosh. Um, yeah, I want to tell you about the things I like to read because we're sitting in a library. Do you like to read?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you like to read?
I like to read fantasy and realistic fiction.
Me too.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite author?
Mm.
No. See how I flipped the script there? That's because I'm an interviewer and I can't help myself. I'll tell you, when my kids were growing up, I used to read aloud to them every night until they were, I don't know, 14 or 15. And they said, okay, Mom, enough. But we read all the Percy Jackson books. We read all the Harry Potter books. We read Lord of the Rings. So I'm with you. Fantasy is a big thing I like to read. And I also like mysteries, a good whodunit. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
It was fun to talk to you.
Yeah.
Keep interviewing people. Keep it up.
Thanks.